Right. So whatever I'm showing you now is all about the Scrum framework. You can see over here. Okay.
Okay.
So the one what you can see is called Scrum. So first of all,
Okay.
being a new entrant who are new to Agile part, you must be knowing about the difference between Agile and Scrum because there is a distinct difference between Agile and Scrum. Okay, first point to be understood with.
Okay.
Agile is a process or a methodology. Okay,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
whereas Scrum itself is called as a framework. Understand?
Okay. Okay.
So when any teams or organization is transforming themselves into an agile environment, doesn't
Yeah.
mean always they follow Scrum. It doesn't mean it. Okay. To
Okay.
an extent
Yeah.
possible, people who are working on agile environment, they can follow Scrum also. Okay. But Scrum is not only a framework which falls under
There are
agile
many.
part. Understand? Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Why? Because agile is a process, as I told you, it is
Yeah.
something more or less like one of the software development lifecycle model, something like waterfall, V model, all that.
Okay.
Because if you want to develop a project, let me put you this from the IT application point of view. Let me put you this way from the IT application point of view. If you want to develop any IT application,
Yeah.
there must be some process which normally you need to understand, which is called SDLC. You might have heard about this SDLC.
Yes.
Nothing but
Software
software
development
development life cycle. Means if you want
cycle.
to develop any application or a project or a product, there are some stages in it, like analysis, planning and design, implementation, testing, deployment, delivery, maintenance.
Okay.
So these are the phases of application development.
Okay.
But when it comes to the implementation of the project, depends on the requirements of the customer to customer. Whatever the model do we require to use is different, because SDLC is itself is a process of developing an application. Okay, but when you want to develop an application for a customer, we have to choose SDLC models, right? Something like waterfall model, V model, all that. I'll
Okay.
tell you the difference. So why are we required to use models for application? Let me put you this way. A customer has approached you. A customer has given some requirements to you to develop the project.
Okay.
And he has confirmed you that he has some enough time to develop and to deliver. Right? That's what customer has promised.
Okay.
Again, the second customer came with some other requirements, but he has in his own urgency where he want you to deliver project as earliest as it can. For example, to develop a project, it is taking 6 months for you, roughly speaking. But customer want you to deliver project in 3 months. This is the
Yeah.
second case. Third case, some customers won't give you the complete requirement. Some customers will give you some requirements now, and they want
Okay.
you to deliver that and to be completed within no time. And
Scope and
once it
target.
is
Scope, target, and budget. Budget, right?
right, that is different, right? So their scope, their target, followed by the budget, what they have might be different. For example,
Okay.
uh, there was a e-commerce business, online shopping kind of.
Correct.
That customer has came to you and he said, Sharda, I want an overline of an e-commerce portal, something like my customer wants to see the products first,
Okay.
and classification of the products is what my customer want to see. That's it. This is my requirement now as of now. Okay.
Okay.
So whatever the shopping they do, whatever the payments they will be doing, so for that, what are the payment options are available? Those are different. Those are different. But I want my customer want to see the products which are available on the screen. For example, right? This is what customer has told. Understood? Share them,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So depends on the kind of customer, depends on the complexity of the project, depends on the urgency, depends on the requirements what we have taken, depends on the size of the requirements what we have, depends on the quantity of the requirements what we have gathered from the customer, depends on their business urgency and all. Whatever the models are we using will vary. Understood?
Okay.
Clear, Sharada? Right?
Yeah.
So this has some differences. For example, if customer has enough requirements and enough timelines, and customer has ensured you that there won't be any changes in requirements will be taken place further. What customers do sometimes, whenever they give requirements now, they will change by tomorrow, right? Because
Yeah.
that is their business need, right? So, but on that grounds, customer has ensured you that there won't be any changes required, right? So if customer has ensured you, then you will be going for waterfall,
Yeah.
okay? Waterfall model, V model,
Okay.
all that. Earlier, customer requirements and customer business positions are different because there is no much volatility in the business.
Yeah.
Okay, there is no much
Yeah.
competition either. But nowadays, the situation has changed, right? You never know what kind of business changes happens by tomorrow, right? What kind of
Yeah. Right.
competition we come across in future, you are not known. Okay.
Correct.
So how
Yeah.
to change the phase of the business, model of the business, rules of the business, which is not known to customer. Am I right?
Right.
For example, the best example I can say, the live example which we have faced across world 2 years back due to pandemic of COVID. We never
Yeah.
know that COVID came, COVID come and um, suffered. Most of the people suffered. We don't know that. But two
Correct.
years back, all of a sudden, there was a virus came across the world, which people have suffered a lot, right? So many
Right.
people have lost their lives, right? So all the families were got disturbed, brought in, all. Fortunate enough,
Correct.
it was settled down. Now people were in the regular. Now, this was the situation across the world, which was never faced, but mankind across the world has transformed and adopted the situation very fast, right? That was the
Yeah.
situation. We have to adopt
Yeah.
according to the situation and we have to move on. And that's how the life is. Am I right? Right? So,
Right.
but of course, there were some people, either individually or professionally, business level speaking, lot of changes happens in the personal and professional life. Somebody has taken that adoption very fast. Some people have taken time. Some people are still struggling to change themselves into the environment which present now. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
this transformation. So why I'm saying this example, because in business, you never know what kind of requirements and what kind of business model I want to implement by tomorrow or day after further.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So if a person wants me to develop an application, for example, the person should also be in that model. Understood, right?
Correct. Correct.
If
Correct.
see, I'm running in my race, right? I'm running in my race. If someone
Mm.
who is giving me some water or some towel, right? So the person should also run along with me. Then only uh, he can uh, he can reaches to me. A person standing somewhere, right? He can't reach out to me. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true. So the same way, any business, any solution customer wants some kind of solutions to be provided for them. It is not something relating only to the technology. What are the requirements I want? The requirements has to be addressed by someone very fast. This is what my requirement is. Understood? Clear, Shah?
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
that's the reason why adopting agile model or methodology is becoming very much important nowadays in any of the application development. This difference between the traditional models to agile is this. Understood, Sharada?
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the size of the team, you can see here the major difference you can see. If you are working on traditional teams, the
Yeah.
hierarchy will be as follows. Like you have a project manager, you have a business analyst, you have a
Yeah.
technical team members, architect, development team, etc. All these things will be there.
Yes.
But whereas when you go for agile, it is all self-organizing team. The difference I'll tell you. Because if you follow the traditional practices of application development,
Yeah.
the number of people working for the project will be larger in size, right? So it may go up to 30 people even. You have a developer as separate, tester as separate, architect as separate, business analyst as separate, project manager as
Correct.
separate, all that. But whereas
Correct.
when you are following agile process or agile transformation, it's a self-organizing team. Okay, it's a
Mm.
self-organizing team. Self-organizing team means number of people who are working for a particular project will be limited. It's very limited. But these people are responsible for the work, what they are doing. They're responsible for everything, right? So they are
Mm.
the one who will be doing analysis. They will be the one who do the design part of the project, implementation, testing, deployment, delivery. Everything has to be taken care of by the self-organizing team itself. Understood?
Okay.
This is what generally we call it as agile teams. And some
Okay.
people normally we call it as scrum team. Okay, whatever the name it is, right? So this is what it was. So whether you are following scrum or you may be following Kanban process or you may be following XP, which is called extreme programming or etc. End of the day, being a business analyst, you need to have a self-organizing ability to perform. Understood? So it is all
Yes.
difference is mindset,
Okay.
right? So because especially in traditional model, if you are a developer, for example, you are
Mm.
responsible for only a particular task which was given to you. Okay.
Correct.
So if you do the task, your job is done, right? You are not responsible for any other things else apart.
That's right.
But when it comes to the agile environment, it's not there. So you are responsible. When you feel the responsibility, when you are responsible, you held accountable. When you say that you are accountable means nothing but you are responsible. Okay.
Okay.
So whatever the deed, whatever the work we do in agile, in application development, if you are in agile environment, you are responsible for the whole work which was provided for you guys, not for you alone. Means it
Okay.
must be a team effort. Agile majorly believes in team effort, not individual effort. Understood,
Okay.
Sharada?
Yeah. What is the difference between this? Why is this separate, like self servant, leader, facilitator
Yeah, I'll
in
tell
the
you.
agile team?
It's
Okay.
not agile. Usually, these roles you can see it in Scrum. Okay, not in agile. The reason most
Oh,
of the people confuses.
okay.
So
Okay.
agile is a process by itself. Okay, whoever
Okay.
is working under agile, they won't be called on the designation specific. It's not designation specific. It is role specific.
Okay.
Role specific. Okay, there will be a role. For that role, there are some characteristics was designed. Whoever is fitting into that role, opportunity will be given to them.
Okay.
It is more or less something like, do you understand better? It is more or less something like casting we do for a movie. For example, you are a movie maker. Okay. You are a movie maker.
Okay.
Let me put you this way. You want to film a movie. You want to make a movie. You have a storyline. You have developed the story. So whenever you develop the story, what is the immediate thing you do after that? You
I
want to
choose the
do casting.
characters.
You are the movie maker. You are the director by itself, or you may be a new, right? You are the key person for a movie to make. You have a
Okay.
storyline.
Yeah.
You are the director by itself, by your own.
Yeah.
There is a story, right? So there was a story which was already completed. It is ready now. So what is the next thing you do, being that?
I choose the characters.
There were already characters designed. There were
Okay.
already characters were there in the movie. In the story itself, there were characters.
Okay. Okay.
What is that you do? You do casting. I mean,
Casting. Yes.
casting you do. Now, casting on what basis you do?
Casting on what basis?
On what basis casting will be done by you?
Mm, by scenes.
No. So scenes and all comes last, right? Next, there is long way to go. If you want to
Introduction.
film a movie, then scenes required. Before that,
Okay.
see,
Before that, casting. Okay.
casting will be done by you based on the characteristic of a particular character. For example,
Okay.
there is a heroic character. For example, in a movie, there is a heroic character.
Okay.
That heroic character will have some characteristics. That person is coming from the rural background, right? So he is not an educated person. He has an aggressive nature. When something goes wrong, he try to question that wrong things, right? So this is what the characteristic which you design in the story. Am I right?
Correct.
Yes or no? Right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So if that was the characteristic of a particular role or a character, depends on that, based on that, who is the person suitable for that person, for that you will be taking them into that role. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
Right.
don't design people. First of all, you design the character of a particular role, of that particular role in a movie. Either it could be a role which is small or which may be big. Okay, main character or sub
Okay.
characters, whatever it was. So you write down some character. For that
Yeah.
character, what are the characteristics? Am I right?
Yeah.
So what kind of character? Is it a positive shade, or positive, negative, negative, positive, male or female character, right? So which what is the style of the character in the particular story? Based on that, which actor is suitable for a particular character, you will be taken into the account. Am I right?
Correct.
So based on the characteristic, you are taking a person. Am I right?
Yeah.
The same way, when coming back to the agile environment, in agile, this is something role specific. For example, there is a role called scrum master. Okay.
Okay.
So if there is a role called scrum master in agile environment, when we follow agile or scrum, all that,
Mm.
for that scrum master, there are some roles and responsibilities were defined. Scrum master must be like this. Scrum master should have a nature of doing this in day-to-day intervals. Scrum Master should be able in a position to solve the impediments in the Scrum. Scrum Master should be able in a position to coordinate all the people and see whether these people were capable enough to complete the task or not. So there will be some characteristics which will be given for a Scrum Master role. Now you will be seeing who is capable to handle this role. You will be selected based on it. Am I
Mm.
right? Understood, Sharada? Clear.
Yeah.
So this is how generally the differences you see between the traditional teams to agile environment. In traditional teams, you have a project manager, you have a business analyst as separate, you have a developer or a tester as separate. But whereas when it comes to the agile environment, it is not that. Agile is a self-organizing team. Agile has some rules. In Agile, in Scrum, there are roles like product owner, Scrum team, Scrum masters, all that. Based upon the role as well as the characteristic of a particular role, whoever is suitable will be taken into that role. Clear, Sharda?
Yeah, clear.
And one more difference from traditional to agile is in traditional teams, you are responsible only for your individual work. But whereas
Yeah.
in agile, it is a kind of mindset that you have to give importance for the teamwork, not by individual comparisons. Okay.
Okay.
Understand, right? So in
Yeah.
agile
Yeah.
environment, the mindset is matters because you have asked me a question, right? So how different from traditional to agile is? Agile people who are working in agile should have a mindset that we working as a team, not by I as an individual. It's not that. Okay, because
Okay.
for example, there were some 4 people or 10 people or 6 people or 9 people were there in the team. If someone is absent, okay, other people for whatsoever reason, due to emergency reason or whatsoever, other people has to compensate the work. Understand? Clear?
Okay.
Sharda, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Other,
Right.
other people has to take that work and they have to complete it accordingly. That's how the situation must be. Agile
Okay.
teams mindset, people are who are working in agile environment should have a mindset that there is a task specific. Scrum is a task specific task.
Okay.
For example, 2 weeks is the task which was given. 2 weeks means 10 working days.
Yes.
In 10 working days, the work has to be completed no matter how many people are working in the team. Sometimes 2 people were absent. Okay.
Okay.
Other people has to compensate the task and they have to divide themselves and they have to complete it. You cannot say that the other person was absent, so it is his task. You cannot say that. Understand?
Okay.
Clear? Right? So the major difference between the traditional to agile teams is very simple, Sharda. In agile environment, it is a task specific. It's all about the mindset of the team members who are working on agile, which they should be able in a position to complete the task on time. Collective
Okay.
responsibility is what people should feel. Being a
Okay.
scrum master, your responsibility is to do that.
Okay.
Okay, it's not responsibility is not something like team management. Okay, fortunate enough if you have a good number of people as a scrum team, if you got your job is nothing. Being a scrum master, you don't do anything. You simply keep quitting. You see, simply doing so your regular activities and all. But you
Okay.
have to ensure, being a scrum master, as your team has ensuring you that in 10 days, some X is the work can be completed means how much portion of the work they did every day, right? So whether are they reaching the targets or not. So there is a constant effort has to be made by the scrum master to see that they will be completed the work in the 10 days of time, the one which they have promised so far.
Okay.
Clear, Sharada?
Clear.
Because it is agile as well as scrum is all something time specific, time bound. If it is 2 weeks means it has to be completed in 2 weeks, no matter what was the situation is. But whereas when you follow the traditional practices, it was not the case. In traditional practices, always you have a choice. Of course, we can take a choice where timelines can be extended for any of the reason. Okay.
Okay.
But
Okay.
whereas in agile, as long as customer is not changing the requirements, the timelines won't get extended. Within the timelines, work has to be finished by collective responsibility by coordinating themselves of the team is essentially required, especially in the field of agile, that you don't
Okay.
see in traditional. So the major difference in one line answer from traditional to agile is a mindset specific. The mindset has to be developed in such a way among the team members in such a way. It is we doing, not I doing. Okay, there is a difference between that sort of mindset is required for a person who is working on agile environment is all about.
Okay.
Understood, Sharada?
Yeah.
So this is what an overall introduction about agile part and how different agile from traditional teams is all about. Clear?
Okay.
Any questions on this regard?
No, no questions.
Okay. So this is all about today, and I'll be taking next session, right? So I'll inform to Naveen so that Naveen will inform you equally. Okay.
Okay. Today's session was only for half an hour?
That's it.
Okay.
Right. So Naveen will inform you the further session regarding this.
Okay. Thank you.
Right, Sharma. See you then. Bye.
Bye.